Live from Jupiter and wherever you are, Bremerton.
What?
I was doing the Saturday Night Live thing, but
Oh, right.
it's not Saturday night. This is not going to be viewed live, and neither one of us are in New York, so
No.
a failure from the outright beginning. Hey guys, it's Erinn, and welcome back to All of the Movies. Today, Emily and I are reviewing the movie A Perfect Getaway. First things first, though, hit that subscribe button. Make sure the bell's checked off so that you're getting notifications whenever we post new content. We're posting at least once a week with full reviews, with spoilers, trailers, reactions, movie trivia, all the things. All of the movies. Enjoy A Perfect Getaway. Here we go.
Hi, and welcome back to our channel.
Oh my god.
Now I have that voice. You made me have that voice, and now I'm just going to have that voice.
No, it's going to be stuck.
How do we normally start these things off?
We just start talking. Hey guys, welcome back to All of the Movies. It's Erinn and Emily, and we are getting ready to talk about our latest movie, A Perfect Getaway.
All right, so it was released in 2009, and it stars Timothy Olyphant, Kiele, Sanchez, Steve Zahn, and Milla Jovovich.
Jovovich.
No, I'm pretty sure the J is a Y because it's Russian.
Well, regardless, there's no K.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. We'll cut this part out.
Okay, so the director also wrote it, and it's David Twohy. And I looked up some of the other things that he wrote because I really liked the writing in this one. And I was really surprised. He wrote The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, Pitch Black. He's the writer of Pitch Black, Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick, all of the
nice.
Video games for Riddick. He's written and been involved with. Let's see, what else did he do? Imposter, which is like a sci-fi guilty pleasure. He also did a screenplay for G.I. Jane.
The one that actually came out, he just got a rewrite. They rewrote it.
That doesn't compute. You're under arrest.
They rewrote G.I. Jane. He also wrote Waterworld, which I know you're not a fan of.
That movie.
But I love that movie.
Out of me.
And then one of my childhood favorite movies, he did Grand Tour, Disaster in Time, or others might know it as Timescape, with Jeff Daniels in it. It's so good. It came out in 1992. Really good, awesome sci-fi movie. So he did all of those, and all of those movies I pretty much enjoy. So it kind of makes sense that I would enjoy this movie as well. Anyways, so that being said, let's get into it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why my head did that, but yeah, let's talk about it.
It always does that.
We've kind of done these reviews in a couple different ways. When we did the Big Lebowski review, we kind of went through like the storyline, and then when we did Under the Tuscan Sun, it was a little bit more like technically we looked at pieces of it. This one, as far as the story's concerned, through the majority of the movie, it's pretty typical like murder mystery thriller like formula. So I don't know if it's like a really big deal to go like, here's what happens.
So a brief synopsis. It's about
worse at this.
I know, right? It starts with two newlyweds, and they're going to Hawaii for their honeymoon, or to one of the islands for their honeymoon. And it's Cliff and Sydney, yeah, that's what it is, with a C also. That's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, couples who, their first name starts with the same letter, they're psychos. First hint.
Psycho with an S.
Yeah. With a C.
That's technically with a P, actually, but whatever.
I know. But okay, so there's these two couples, and they meet on the trail. Cliff and Cindy are one of them, and they're our main people throughout the entire movie until, of course, the very end. Then it kind of swaps roles, and you're like, oh, main people are actually Timothy Olyphant and Kiele's characters, which is Gina and
Nick.
Yeah.
Or Miko, depending on if you read her phone in the movie or not.
Maybe it's like a character development of like a little cute little nickname. He reminds her of the raccoon in Pocahontas, Miko.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was just a flat out error.
Okay, so you have these two couples and they're getting to know each other. And as a there were gruesome murders that happen on the main island of Hawaii. And you get to hear about that. And it's kind of like switching back and forth. Who could it be? Which couple is the killers? And so it's kind of like a mystery thriller comedy in a way. I thought it was very comedical. Comical.
That was my word. Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny moments. I would not classify it as a comedy.
When they're hunting in the woods, and Timothy Olyphant, who is a man's man kind of character, is leading Steve Zahn's character, who you think is like, kind of a wimpy metrosexual guy. Anyways, and
until
he's behind him.
Dude's jacked in this movie.
I know.
He's ripped.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's comedy in it because that scene, he's like, and I love it because when Steve Zahn's character, he like goes for it. He's like, oh, creeping.
Oh, he totally falls.
And then like the third time he realizes that he's just messing with him and he's like, okay.
What is Timothy Olyphant's character says something to him. Yeah, no, it definitely did have its funny little quirky moments, and but yeah, it's not a comedy. If you're looking for a comedy, do not watch this movie.
I feel like this movie is more of like getting to know these characters. Really, it's not.
It is definitely a character based. The characters move the plot more than the story does. Right,
which is, I think, what I like about it, per se. It's, I don't know, like I like that it's not an action movie and they didn't go over the top, and it's
definitely not like, action. It was a very very thriller type, slow moving. I think that was one of the things that I had struggled with, was like the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the movie up until they make camp and Chris Hemsworth and or they see those people who are like, maybe it's just a goat, until that part, that's when the movie kind of starts picking up steam or whatever. But until that point, and that's like a good 40 minutes into the movie, nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Well, I don't know. I think that, it takes a long while maybe to set up it, but I think it's important to get those notes, because rewatching it, and I've seen it several times, but like this time I was really paying attention because, critique it.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, knowing the ending, the beginning is actually really sad. Like it's really sad to think that these people like nonchalantly are taking over these other people's lives. And like in the video, she's like, this is the happiest day of my life. And you realize she died right after that. And these people are pretending to be them. And they're
I think that the first like 10 minutes of the movie, everything up until they're getting their permits for the trail, that part moves really quickly. It doesn't feel like it's taking a long time, but then there's between that that scene and the scene where they're all camping and the guys go off to figure out who's walking by the tent, that hunting scene or whatever. Not a lot happens, and it's some things happen, but it takes a long time to get to any sort of real character development, especially for what's her face's character, Milla's character in the tent when she's talking to Kiele's character. Like that right there was the biggest piece of character development she has practically the whole movie, except for right at the beginning when she's like trying to figure out how she says her name and things like that. Like, other than that, she's just kind of transparent and falls behind all the other actors in the movie. She's very understated until the end of the movie,
right? Which
I appreciated.
Right, and I think it was purposeful because when you're thinking about these characters and you realize that she is in an abusive relationship, a very messed up, psycho, sick, abusive relationship with this guy, her character is very transparent until she starts, realizing how messed up and sick and ridiculous all of it is.
Yeah, I think watching the movie, you see this kind of, and something that I think that they did really well, and probably one of the only things that I found without fault in the movie was how they acted on purpose somewhat off. So like watching the movie, and even my brother, he even said like the acting sucks. She's just like doing these faces, and she, something surprising happened, and she was like, like really slow and just like delayed. But then you realize that they're, to have taken over these other two people's lives, and so you can see how methodical they had to be throughout the beginning part of the movie. So it's very, very well done that way, because you look at Timothy Olyphant's character and Kiele's Sanchez character, they're like totally authentic. They point the, he's the red herring or snapper, as he says. Red snapper.
Red herring. I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
But I think that Steve Zahn and Milla Jovovich, their acting was superb.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Their acting was really, really good.
They had really good actors, definitely in this movie, which I think, like, if anybody else played it, like B-rated actors and actresses, like, this would be not that great of a movie. But since they did have good actors, I think it pulled off very well.
For those two characters, there are maybe 3 actors I think that could have pulled off Steve Zahn's character. Jake Gyllenhaal is immediately another person who I would like. I could take him in this movie every day, because he's got that boy next door, but also Nightcrawler. Like, I mean, you could totally see him rock a role like this. But yeah, there's not many out there who could.
What I do like the most about this movie is the characters. Like, the characters are, in my opinion, very well developed, because like even the little snippet that you get to see the real Milla, like her real self, and then the real Rocky, because all the way through you have who they're pretending to be.
Right, and it's off.
It's very off. And then when you get to see them as their real selves, that they're still very well developed.
So to me, it was never like a what? When it turned out to be Steve Zahn and Milla who were the murderers. Like
Mhm.
I never. First of all, Chris Hemsworth isn't in the movie long enough for that to be any sort of like consequential character. You knew it wasn't
Yeah.
going to be him, and then you just there because there's something so off about the two of them. Like for me anyway, I knew from pretty much go that it wasn't, especially at the beginning of the movie there's something off because they're like, my brother from Michigan, I thought he was from Montana, and like that whole, there are, if you pay attention, there are things
Right.
throughout the whole movie that line that up.
That's one thing that I noticed because it's been forever since I saw this the first time. And I remember seeing it for the first time, not knowing who it was, how they set it up. It's like you should have seen all of the little breadcrumbs that they planted. Like when he took the picture and he's like, would be perfect for framing. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and then when, Timothy Oliphant's character asked him, like, are you okay? Or something like that. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. And he's like, that's the second lie that you've told me. Lying comes naturally, doesn't it? I really, really, really enjoyed that aspect of the movie.
Like I said, I think that was the and not even the characters, because the characters and story, slightly better than average maybe, but that's just one girl's opinion.
It's definitely not spectacular, but for a movie like this, where like you've seen a lot of movies like this, but they all just kind of suck. And this one's actually really good.
The acting was superb when he's supposed to be high and he is maniacal. I mean, that was awesome.
Outstanding.
The acting was very good, but the characters, I mean, a dime a dozen. That's why I said this is kind of like a formula movie.
Oh man, his hand though.
That was so nasty, man. I had never seen that part before because I always watched it on TNT or FX whenever it was on.
When you put it back together, they made like that squishy sound.
Oh, I know. It was so gross. I know. I won't talk.
But I really appreciate that, because that, again, this could have went to like the more horror aspect. Like they could have just been like gore with a movie like this, but they didn't. They used just enough that, could happen or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what puts it on such a high regard for me, is that it could have turned out so bad. Because this is something, like, it's a movie that you could see for, like, made for TV. It's that type of movie.
It's a TNT movie. I would never pay $10 to see this movie.
That being said, to me, the actors are great actors. The story, it's probably something we've already seen, but this story is better than all of the others. Like how they did it, how they set things up, how clever it was. The effects were really good. His hand being cut, like
that was disgusting.
Gash and also when she got shot at and it hit the phone, like they made sure that they revealed that she was shot too. Like, because if something happened,
she took it out of her leg, you could see it. I said the same thing to Erinn. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is the attention to detail. And again, this goes back to what I said in I think it was Hell or High Water, where they have such great attention to detail in some of those moments where they're needed for the story, that they kind of got lazy when it wasn't needed for the story. Like she's got one scene when she's like at the top of the hill, she's got like blood on her cheek or something, and then it goes back to her and it's like blood and dirt and all over it. Like, blood and dirt and all over it. There were a couple of those things where I thought that they could have, for how tightly put together the movie was as far as timing went, they kind of botched some of those little details.
Yeah. Is it a perfect movie? No. You see what I did there?
It's a perfect getaway, but it's not a perfect movie. No, it's definitely not perfect. It falls short.
For what it is, it's the better of what we normally see. And I think that's
I'll give it to you just because I can't think of very many of the movies right now off the top of my head. I'll give that to you. I don't know if I agree completely, but I'll give it to you. This movie did some things. It did one thing perfectly, and that was the acting. Well, okay, perfect is a strong word, but the acting was really, really good. For everybody's character, all the main characters. The story was average. The character was maybe a little bit better than average because of some of the things that they brought out at the end where you're like, I didn't see that coming. But
I really, really liked Gina and Nico. They put a lot of care into making these characters, in my opinion, just like really cool, and you could totally see them having like a life. And like
that was one thing that I thought that they did. Yeah, they did well. You could see where their life was outside of just the hour and a half or 2 hours that the movie showed.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it showed a lot, I think, during the movie, but even more in that flashback. And I think my favorite part of that was when he comes back from the store.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool how they went back and you could see, because Steve Zahn's character, so Cliff and Sydney, those characters were paper thin.
Right.
But on purpose.
They had to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like it was a conscious decision to make those characters paper thin because they weren't the real people. The way they were portrayed, and again, this goes back to the actual acting and the fact that they played those characters, those other characters that were deliberately paper thin. That was really cool, especially because you saw some slip-ups. This is one of those movies where as you watch it, you need to watch it more than once because you pick up new things as you watch it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a more than one time watch, and it's entertaining, but it's no masterpiece.
Yeah. To me, there weren't any glaring like plot holes, like how did that happen, or what about this, or what about that, or how did they do
the whole drug thing was kind of weird. I feel like that was a late addition. Like, we're gonna make them drug addicts.
I don't think that they're addicts though.
It could have been more, not that they were addicted, like a true addict, but that it was part of their
method.
Exactly. When they go to kill somebody, they have to get high first to do all of those things. Kind of part of their process in their whole serial killer thing. To me, it's still, even if it was that, it felt like it was added at the end. It did not feel like a conscious, we're going to make them, we're going to make them do meth, crack, or whatever it was. I don't even remember.
Meth, I think it
was. It meth?
Or it might be, he said crystal.
It was crystal meth.
Yeah, crystal meth.
Because he said she's on crystal meth at the end, and he's like, why are your eyes huge and hers are normal?
Yeah. Right?
That was
meth.
It was crystal meth.
Yeah. It is different than crack, because crack is cocaine.
Right.
But like the poor man's cocaine, right?
Well, I mean, it's just, it's not
politically correct to say.
Probably not.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of funny moments in this, though, the here kitty.
That was the biggest non sequitur.
You crack me up laughing, haha.
Wow.
Yeah. The man's man, wants Cliff to come with him, and he's like, here, kitty. And he's like, I'm a grown man. That's not going to work on me. And then the next scene is him going through following him. Like, that is funny.
Yeah.
And the comedy in it wasn't cheesy, which is what you could get with a movie like this.
Yeah.
Just like bad,
Yeah.
cheesy, like shut up kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
I agree.
And they brought it back in at the end. Steve Zahn's character then says it to him.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. They didn't bring that back just to bring the joke back. They brought it back because he was taking over.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, another thing. The whole when he's shooting at Gina, after he shoots those people, he runs out of bullets. What does he say?
Should have been
count
counting.
your shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because it like hones in on the writing aspect. And I think that since the director is also a writer, like the whole screenplay kind of, aspect of this movie was pulled off very well.
I haven't seen you on TV. No such luck, no.
Excellent Cliff is a screenplay writer. He's very sought after. All the big movie studios want him to do their projects.
Ew, I smell fame and fortune on you. A screenplay writer, huh? We just say screenwriter.
Yeah, that was actually one of my least favorite parts of the movie.
Really?
So I have a love-hate relationship with movies that bring in the movies. Because a lot of the time, it's really cheesy and overdone and annoying. And I felt that in this movie. Like, I was like, okay, enough. We get it. He's a screenplay writer.
Yeah. Well,
like that bugged me.
Well, I think it kind of, I could see how it would be really annoying.
Scream, those movies, brilliant.
But I think for his character, he needs to know his stuff. And so it's kind of like the dialogue was showing
that. I know. Yeah.
Right? And up until that point, he knows his stuff.
But see, and that's what I mean, where he doesn't really, because they just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Right. Which is that. Exactly. Which is what he rehearsed.
Yeah.
Which goes back to.
That's true. Yes.
He's playing a character based off of a videotape.
Yeah.
Like he has no more material.
He has no frame of reference.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. I see what you like. I agree. I completely understand. It's still annoying.
No, I thought the whole Johnny Depp thing was annoying. I was like,
yeah, that and I really, really, really did not like how they frankly butchered a red herring.
I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
Like that, just as someone who is a big fan of the story when it comes to movies, TV, music, books, whatever, like the story is so important. And so when you just completely take advantage of a literary device the way they did a red herring in this movie.
I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
And I'm not even talking about how they mentioned it, but like it just, they only mentioned it to say that, oh, by the way, it's not who you think it is because he's a red herring.
I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
And then it just like that drove me nuts. I really did not like the way that they handled that at all. But that was the only thing that I was like really had a problem with.
Yeah. Continuing with that, one of the things that he says, who is it? I think it's the guy who brings them their permit.
This is not like the mainland, brother.
Yeah, that guy.
I love that guy. I love his accent.
He says, I think it's him, I'm pretty sure, but he's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns ahead. And after he says that, that's when the movie gets into the twisty
turns on its head. Yeah.
Parts, which, I mean, I could see how.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's like a direct.
But that was more.
That was more
tactfully done. I felt like that. I'm cool with that because it's left to the audience to say, oh, and then, but you don't realize that it's foreshadowing until after it's happened, which is the whole flipping point of foreshadowing. Oh, it just, that whole red herring thing drove me nuts.
I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
I liked the little piece of dialogue that they had. Like, I liked that whole exchange, but then it just, I don't like the way that they used the device. Like, that was my issue with it, is they butchered the actual usage of what a red herring is supposed to be.
I really also enjoyed the difference between that couple and Gina and Nico, because at the very end, when Sydney is, going to direct the sniper to kill Nico, Gina comes in and like saves him, and they have like that moment. And throughout the entire thing, she's always what's her face? Sydney is always looking to Cliff to be like, I want you to say nice things to me. I want you to like
say nice things to me. You need to, yeah.
Right. And then you see like their relationship of, and during it, you're like, oh, well, maybe he's just, stressed or, whatever. Because finally at the beach, you see him like kiss her shoulder and, do some cute things or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, there you go. But their relationship is off, and not just because they're playing different people, but because they are themselves off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this couple who is completely in love and, like just the perfect fit for each other. And then the character sees that when she goes to save Nico, and then she's like, this guy's not worth saving.
The one you want. The one who killed all those people. It's the same guy who's about to pick up that gun. Yeah, him.
You get like that good contrast of couples. And I really liked that. Gina's character talking about her preacher saying they can go to hell without marriage. And she's like, and after that, I don't believe people when they say how perfect their lives are. And I think that was the whole purpose of this movie, in my opinion, because it's a perfect getaway, but it's not really. You have this perfect couple, but they're not really.
But I think the whole point there was that they were not perfect, but they were good.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that I think, and I agree 1,000,000%. I think that they nailed the point of the movie, maybe, or what you're supposed to take away from it, or what you can take away from it. I always like when movies have where, it's not, there's some hidden, or not even hidden, but just some extra something that you get as an audience member, as someone watching the movie, you get to take away, going, oh, and thinking about something that had nothing to do with Hawaii or, a thriller or something like that. It had some meaning behind it.
Exactly. Which I think, is this movie perfect? No. But what I got from the movie was that, and I think that is perfect. That's why I'm going to give this movie a large bag of popcorn, because it's a plain large bag of popcorn.
No butter.
No butter, but it's still a large bag, because I can enjoy this movie, and every time I watch it, I get that out of it. Like, it reminds me that everything else, like, might look perfect, but you're not living that life. Stay present in your own and find perfection in your own day-to-day life. And that's why I like the movie.
I'm with you. I don't want to give it a medium bag of popcorn, because I think it was better than that, but also not so much deserving. Large bag of popcorn, not finishing the popcorn though. Like,
eating half of the large bag. Yeah.
I gotta share the large bag of popcorn with somebody else.
I'll eat my large bag and eat half of yours.
Okay, good. I mean, it deserves a large bag because I think it was poignant. I think technically it had some really good aspects, but definitely not like an uber successful movie.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Yeah.
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 Okay. Ooh, okay. So the next movie that we're going to do a full discussion type video for is something we both have never seen, Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little with the Stephen King.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this one because I've heard nothing but really good things.
Charisma's going to be totally happy. This is one of her favorite movies ever.
Oh yeah. But until then, we have not ton, but we're
There
getting
will be at some point tons.
more content on this channel. So
thank you for watching, and as always, please subscribe, and you know where that button is. Also, you can join the conversation with us, Emily and Erinn, at our social media, because you know that's a thing. So Twitter can be right here, and Instagram. Here are our handles, and we hope to hear from fellow movie lovers like you guys. And you know, any questions, concerns, comments, opinions, leave down below. Plan is to post twice weekly during January, and then after that just posting once weekly. Both me and Erinn have full-time jobs and a life, so there's that. Anyways, thanks for watching as always, and see you in the next video.
you want to try it?
We suck at this. I don't know why we have to go this way. Wait, I'm so confused.
Do we go this way?
Yeah, it's this way
it's
because
this way.
we are on the other.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Maybe we should start just touching first.
I'll be right here. Or we could do the whole Star Trek thing.
Phone home.
We suck at this. I don't know why we.
Okay, ready? And then just go. Just go forward. 1, 2, 3, go.